Hello everyone, hope you're well. So I've done a little bit more work on my veggie garden on some of my plots, but I have a lot more to do. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little version of a scarecrow. I'm not going to do a full scarecrow. I'm going to be inspired by Beatrix Potter. And I don't know if I'll find, this is about Beatrix Potter's garden. So I don't know if I'll find it, but I want to do Peter Rabbit's jacket. You know when the illustration of Peter Rabbit's jacket hanging on top, like a scarecrow hanging up on the stick? I was just seeing if I have it in this book. This book's really pretty. I got it super cheap, can't remember, $5 or something. And it's all about the garden and Beatrix Potter and her life, and look at her original illustrations. I'm not enabling you to buy more books. You don't have to go buy this. I just wanted to take some inspiration of his little blue jacket. I don't know if I can find it. A lot of her illustrations are in here. Sorry, it's taking me a little while. Seeing if it's in here. Maybe, maybe not. All the pretty gardens. This book I should use more. It could give me inspiration for my garden. I can't find it. Maybe not. Maybe not in here. But anyway, I'm going to do his little blue jacket. So, hanging on the stick. So, what I've done, I haven't quite got the right colour felt. This one's a little bit more aqua-y, but I can't find one that will be perfect. I have a lot of felts, but I think this one will do. It's nice and bright and it contrasts with the colours that I've been using. Rach, I think this is, yeah, Stamperia felt. You gave me this one. So what I'm going to do, I want to make his jacket like an actual little jacket. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. Just cut a small piece of felt because his jacket needs to be quite small. And that, I think that's way too big. I'm going to go smaller. So I'm doing just a little rectangular piece of felt, and I need to have a picture of his jacket to keep in reference. Where was that page? Towards the back. There. So it's got little gold buttons. I think what I'm going to do is I will do little gold beads. So I do need a little jacket. So what I've done is I've folded the jacket in half, and then I'm going to cut just some little sleeves. This is just totally eyeballing it. And just a little bit of an angle. Okay. So you can see I've got his little jacket, and then up the front I'll fold it this way now. Okay, let's see what this looks like. So I'll cut out a little. Okay, I'm going to cut that a bit better. Little edge off there. Okay, now I've got his little jacket, and that's going to fold over. I'm going to stitch it together, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to put that onto the stick. It's actually really cute. Now let's see, hopefully it's not too big. I might just trim it down a little bit. It's a little bit bigger than I wanted, so just trim a bit of the bottom. And then I might just trim down the sleeves a little bit further, so they're a bit smaller. And on the other side, Okay, let's have a look. That is super cute. So there, I'm going to do the stick. I'm going to couch this down to be like the stick, and then it goes across, and his little jacket's going to sit on it. And then maybe somewhere in my veggie garden I might embroider Peter Rabbit. So I'm going to show you how I'll do this. Just trim off these little uneven bits. Only a bit there. I think that's okay. So I want it on an angle because in the picture it hangs on an angle, like the stick's on an angle. So first thing I'm going to do, which colour? Oh, that one's the wrong colour. Let me see if I got a better fit. I got so many blues. Wrong, too dark. This is just my random box of threads I haven't put away yet. Wrong colour. I can get my blue box out. I might get my blue box. Just one sec. I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm back. So I have this stranded cotton, which is actually a really good fit for colour, like perfect. But I want to use a thinner thread, so I went for this one. It's a little bit off, not quite as close as the other one, but it will do, because I don't want my stitches standing out too much. So I've just pinned it in place using a little tiny applique pin, and then I'm going to stitch down the little jacket, but only not the top folded part, because I'll fold that over and stitch down later. So I'm just folding down, stitching down the bottom half. So with this, it's just going to be an overcast stitch, and I'll show you what that is in case you can't remember or you haven't done it before. So just capturing the edge, I've only just caught that one, and doing a little stitch over the edge. Okay, so I'm going to do this little tiny overcast stitch, capturing a couple of mils in the edge and coming over. Doing this stitch the whole way around the underneath side of his jacket, if that makes sense. So I think I'll definitely have to attempt to stitch a Peter Rabbit. I do have some Peter Rabbit books. Some of the children's books from when Jamie was young. I've still got them, so I'll make sure I do the one where he's lost his jacket because his jacket's hanging up. Or actually, you know, it'd be super cute, the scene where he's in, I think he sits in the water can, doesn't he, the green watering can? That would be really cute, and having his little ears sticking out. So we'll see. I'll decide that later. So, work is insane. It's so busy. I worked out tomorrow between class and meetings and class and meetings and class and meetings. I don't have 1 second break to go to the toilet between 8:25 when I start in the morning and 2:15, not till I finish my last class at 2:15. And that's not my full work day. It's not to say I only work those hours. I'll work longer than that. But literally, to go to the bathroom, unless I rush in between, I am back-to-back lessons and meetings and lessons and meetings. Recess, lunch, the whole lot. I've got recess duty. I've got a meeting at lunch. It's crazy. But anyway, the work is very enjoyable so far. I'm really enjoying somewhat doing things the same as my role from last year, but there's new challenges as well. So I'm still doing care for the boys, pastoral care, and looking after their well-being, and there's been a lot of that so far, but also a lot of sort of academic stuff going on. So it's enjoyable doing something different. I'm working with different people as well, which is good. Great team that we've got, and it feels like we've been back for weeks, and it's only week 2. And then yesterday we got an updated itinerary for our New York trip, which is 8 weeks. In 8 weeks from today, I think it is, that we're going. So the countdown is on. Jamie said they've been going through the different music that they have to know. A lot of the songs they already know, and then I think he said they have to learn 2 new ones. So he'll be working on that for the next 8 weeks before we go. And the itinerary is brilliant. I hate to say this, a really exciting thing's been added in. This wasn't in before. On our second last day, we're spending the day at a mega outlet, like a upper class, with nice shops, like all the nice shops. Outlet, which is so exciting. We have outlets here and they're just not good. I've heard the American ones are awesome. Some of you guys might be able to tell me that coming from America, but I'm so excited to go shopping. So Juju's looking after my cat while we're away, and I said to Juju that I might just have to buy her a handbag to say thank you for looking after the cat, because they have all the brands. I'll get her like a Coach bag, or what else? They had everything. I think they had Louis Vuitton. I love Ralph Lauren. They have that. Yeah, lots of different brands. Some brands I'm not familiar with. They're not ones that I know of from here, and then lots of the ones are from here. In fact, they even have an outlet for one that I know is definitely Australian, because the 2 girls that do it are from Sydney, from the eastern suburbs where we live, and they started off in a little market close to where we live. And I know their brand. They've been going for a long time, probably since I was in my late teens, and they're quite well known. They're called Zimmerman. So they are definitely 2 Australian girls that run that, because one of them's actually married to a friend of mine's brother. So that's pretty cool. They've got a store in New York in the outlet. And then we've had, I think, a Rangers game we're going to. I think I've said that before. I think that is definitely on. I think the New York Yankees game might be confirmed now, because that was an unsure if that was happening. I think something like they had to make the playoffs. So maybe that's coming up, or that might still be a question mark. I'm not sure. We hopefully are going to a Brooklyn Nets game. That's correct, isn't it? Nets, which I think probably our best Australian basketball player, Paddy Mills. I think that's the team he plays for, or if he doesn't play for it now, he used to play for it. I don't follow the American competition. Too much sport in Australia to follow. So that's exciting. And then we're doing lots of touristy things. We are going up the Empire State Building, which was not originally on the schedule. So I'm really excited about that, because all I think of with that is the Sleepless in Seattle scene where she goes up the top. So that's exciting to do that. And then we're going top of the rock, so that's Rockefeller Center, I think. Is that correct? Yes, Rockefeller Center. So we're doing that. We're going to Grand Central Station. We're going to Central Park twice. And I think they might have 2 performances in Central Park. And one of the things they're performing at is meant to be quite an important thing. And I don't know that they've had a pipes and drums band before, or at least a juvenile international band. And then we're going to 2 schools, which is cool. We're going to go for school tours, which, yeah, that's really cool. I'd love to see what schools are like in New York. I'm sure it's quite different. And I think the boys might be performing at the schools, which is cool, for the kids there to see what our kids do, because that's probably really different for them. They probably have, do you call it the brass bands? Or maybe not brass, but you have your marching bands that play at like sporting events. We don't have that exactly. We do have kids playing those instruments, but not like that. So yeah, we got the new itinerary on email last night, and I messaged the guy in charge and went, "Oh, I'm so excited." I didn't tell him it was because of the shopping, but that's exciting. And as I was chatting to Mum yesterday, I really have always wanted to go to New York. So, yeah, it's great that I get that opportunity. And I've never done a school trip with our school. I've been at our school. This is my 20th year. It's a long time, and we do international trips, and I've never actually gone on one. So I'm really glad to get that experience of taking kids overseas as well. something that's good to, you know, have that experience of how to manage that. And there'll be 4 staff, so whoops, sorry, popped the camera. So I'm not on my own, which is, we wouldn't be able to do it. We have to take certain staff to student ratios for supervision anyway, so we have to take 4 staff. Not that any staff are complaining, they're all happy to go. Yeah, so it's coming up really quick. It felt like it was ages away, and now it's all of a sudden it's just about on us. So anyone from New York, what's the weather like? We're arriving on Easter, leaving on Easter Saturday here and arriving on Easter Saturday there. I'm assuming it's quite cold. Would we get any chance of snow? That'd be amazing. Maybe not. Okay, so I've cut a little strand. This is just wool, just a random wool I got from my sewing basket store. And I've just cut a little piece, which I'm going to couch down. I'm going to just do a stitch a bit towards the middle, just to hold it in place because it's not pinned down, otherwise it might go all over the place. Okay, so I'm using 6 stranded DCM cotton, and it is in like a chocolatey brown. I don't have the numbers because I don't write them on the cards, because it's not like cross stitch or something like that where you actually need to get the right colour. With this, I just pick what I like. So couching, if you haven't done it before, is where you have 1 fibre and you do stitches, straight stitches over the top to hold it down. For those there are people that have only recently joined us. In fact, every day we've got people join the Facebook group. A lot of people come into the Facebook group, and even though I've tried to explain it all properly and thoroughly in the description or the about of our page, there are so many people who just don't know what the project's about or where to get the prompts. So, you know, and they've come into volume 3. For those that have been here the whole time, you already know how this all works. And we did the stitch samplers at the beginning of volume 1. If anyone is new, Rach has, she's made the playlists. They're on her page, volume 1, 2 and 3. You do not have to start with 1 and do 2. It is up to you. If you want to join in with 3, just go ahead. If you don't know how to stitch already, maybe just watch the beginning of volume 1 and maybe just try and do the sampler, which is right at the beginning. We did that in December 2021, just as a pre sort of thing for our first volume, just to make sure everyone sort of knew how to do some stitches. So you could have a go at that if you're new to this or new to stitching. If you are someone who knows how to do basic stitches, you'll be fine. Just get straight into it. And you don't need to do all the prompts. It's up to you. There's 12 in total. A few people have asked. Again, I think people are asking who haven't started at the beginning with us when we've announced that stuff. So there are 12 prompts, 2 a month. We do aim for the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of the month to reveal the new prompts, but occasionally we get an extra Wednesday. So then we kind of just work out what we want to do. Whether we need I certainly need a lot more time on my previous prompts. As usual, nothing is finished. I really do need to try and make a little bit more time to get some stitching done. I usually only stitch maybe a couple of days a week. It's not much, and I wouldn't say days. It'd be maybe no more than about 3 hours, because I just get home and I've either got work to do or I'm super tired. And I have a nana nap in the afternoon. Even Jamie had a nana nap this afternoon. He was exhausted. He went to sleep for about 3 hours this afternoon. So he won't be going to bed anytime soon because he's had a big sleep already. He had water polo training this afternoon. I guess he's just worn out. Okay, so as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm couching down this first piece of thread. So this is like the stick, the first stick, and then the other stick goes across. And that's when, once I've couched down the other stick, that's when I will fold down the little jacket and I will stitch that down so it creates his jacket. And then I'll put some little gold beads on it so that they're like his buttons on his jacket. Okay, I might put you on pause and come back once I've stitched the crossbar down. Okay, so it won't take me long, I'll be back soon. Little stick all stitched down. Switching, need to switch back to my thin cotton so I can fold over his jacket and sew it down. Okay. Just need to try and line it up because I wanted it to be a little bit 3D. I'm not going to stitch along here, just going to stitch there so it's like it is actually open, like a real jacket. So just holding it down, you could pin it in place if you wanted to. And I'm going to leave it open. I'm not going to stitch down the inside either, just along this outside bit. So I saw a cute picture on Pinterest when I was trying to come up with ideas for my scarecrow, where someone had actually made a sweet little veggie garden and made a sign, Peter Rabbit's garden, and made a little jacket and put it on a stick like this. So that's kind of where I got the idea from. So anyway, back to my New York trip. What else are we doing? Ellis Island, which is cool. The only thing I know about Ellis Island was watching the movie Hitch, when he goes to the island, and the butcher of, what was it called? I can't remember, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty on that day, and Wall Street and the financial district. And then we are also doing the day after, I think, we're doing the 9/11 memorial, which I've wanted to see. That'll be sad, but I would like to see that. And we're doing Brooklyn Bridge twice. I think we're walking across it or something to go somewhere. We're going to Little Italy, Chinatown. What else? There's so many things. I'm just trying to think what I haven't told you about. Oh, it's jam packed. It's like 12 days away. 2 obviously almost taken up fully with flights. So there's a good 10 days. Then there's the street parade as well. The Tartan Week street parade. They have, I think that might be on a Sunday, and maybe something on a Saturday as well. And what was the other thing we're going to, and I can't think. Oh, we're going to Times Square twice. We're going to have dinner there a couple of times, I think. So Madison Square Garden for the game, Yankee Stadium. We're going over to Brooklyn. Oh, the boys are going to a batting cage. That'll be fun. They'll like that. So they're actually going to do something. That's, I think, on our first full day there. Yeah, no, I feel like they've planned the itinerary really well. That'll be so appealing to the boys, which is important because it's their trip. And it's their first one, and I think it's, you know, if it goes well, which I'm expecting, I don't see why it wouldn't, they'll do it. They'll do it possibly every year or every second year. So I'm just really excited that Jamie gets to do an overseas trip because, you know, with the whole COVID situation, things have not been normal, and normally boys really do get their opportunities for overseas trips when they're in their final 2 or 3 years of school, and unfortunately for Jamie, COVID's knocked that one about. Okay, just finding some beads. Was thinking these are some of those secondhand ones I got from the sewing basket. I'm thinking gold. These are gold buttons, little buttons. And of course he needs an odd number, so he's going to have 3 buttons on his little jacket. How cute's the jacket? Like, it's a little 3D jacket. That's worked out better than I was expecting. Okay. Now, beading needle. Where is my beading needle? The one I've been using is actually pretty thin. Let me see if it'll get through. Yep, I think it will. So we might just use this, and I am just going to change my thread colour. Put some yellow on. Okay, yellow thread. These are a lot of my old threads. I love them. There, that's a gold thread. That's perfect. Not shiny gold, but gold in colour. Okay. Alright, so hang on, just threading my needle. It's hard to thread this one, it's small. So I have to say, have I mentioned this before, that Damien and I got into Breaking Bad in the holidays. Steffi strongly encouraged us to watch it because he's loved it, and oh my gosh, we absolutely loved it. It was so good. So many just shocking moments, like, oh, we just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. But yeah, I'd always sort of thought that I wanted to watch it and then just never got around to it. And then we got into it and we watched all 5 seasons pretty quickly. We've watched a little bit of the El Camino movie. I haven't fully watched that one yet. I might watch it on the weekend. And then I think we might watch Better Call Saul. That's the next one. That's the prequel series. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that. Okay, so let's get the little button stitched down, and then that is going to be it for my garden for tonight. And I will gradually work on building up my veggie gardens. I might put a few little bits of grass and maybe some daisies around the bottom of the stick, the pole. I always go through twice. Rach and Mum do the same. Mum taught us that if you do that, it holds the bead in place at the right angle, so it kind of stands up so you can see the top part. Let me have a look what 2 buttons look like, because I'm wondering if 3 might be a bit crowded. Let's see. I'm trying to stitch it so I'm not stitching my jacket down. So you've still got that kind of 3D feel to it. I think I can get one more in. And then one more to go. Yep, 3 will be cute. So I want to see what Rach has done, because Rach, you just did background last week, so I haven't seen your idea for your veggie plot. I haven't chatted to Rach. When did we chat? The other day when she was on her way to Florence. haven't chatted to her since then. I think you were, weren't you? So yeah, I'll probably catch up with her, talk to her this weekend. I'm just threading it through the back of the felt because it's too hard to get in there, and that should stay in place. So there we go. There's my little jacket. I'm going to lift it up so you can see a bit closer. Hang on. Let me zoom. Not zoom. Focus. There's the little jacket. That's my scarecrow. Alright, so I'll tell you what, there's been some phenomenal gardens and scarecrows. I love seeing how you all interpret prompts. It's so good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you're enjoying the project, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.